college, a collage of subjects you purchase at a hefty price to then show it to recruiters and get a job. But apart from bringing companies on campus for students to interview at, is college education really worth it anymore? An average college degree spans across 4 years. For instance, a computer science student studies subjects like OOPS, operating system, computer networks, DBMS, and a programming language. For many colleges, the subjects I just mentioned are divided among semesters. So you study OOPS in one semester, DBMS in another, maybe a combination of computer networks and DBMS in one semester, and operating system in another. I call this the one ISP SP, one important subject per semester policy. Alongside these, we also dive into subjects like match earning, machine learn, mesh learner, machine earring, machine learn, machine learning, machine learning, some niche mathematics which is just enough for a college student, cloud computing, architectural design, digital electronics, and many more. Are these subjects irrelevant? Absolutely not. But many of these subjects are so niche that it is possible for an engineer to survive without learning these. Problem? We study too much. But the problem isn't complete yet. Enrolling in a computer science course in a university is taking a full-fledged course, which is quite different from taking a crash course. But is a university course really different from a crash course? Crash courses are like breadth first search. We traverse a layer and then another layer and so on. And as soon as the syllabus starts getting tougher or advanced, we withdraw. Isn't this what is happening in a college course? We study just enough cloud computing so that we can understand that the cloud isn't literally a cloud and get familiar with terms like virtual machines, hypervisor, scale-in, etc. We study just enough digital electronics so that we know how the binary operators and or not ZOR work, and we get familiar with terms like registers and flip-flops. Not this one, the other one. A little knowledge about these things won't hurt. But then what is so unique or remarkable about the resources that a college provides that it is worth spending lakhs of money just to acquire this little knowledge? But if the college really provides remarkable resources which are inaccessible to the outer world, with Google and AI, how is that even possible? We don't study enough. For a student who is training to become a data scientist, how relevant would a subject like cloud computing be? But then there are no subjects like system design, both low level and high level, and design patterns in majority of the curriculums which are relevant to everybody, because those are some coding conventions and patterns which are followed by frameworks, plugins, and major tech businesses. Alongside the business logic of an application, error handling is the most important part of the design. For students who are studying engineering, what if the opportunity to earn money never arrives? It's a common exception these days, but we don't know what to do with that exception. In real life, we can't throw it. We must handle it. Who teaches that? It's part of self-discovery. And who teaches that? It comes from self-learning. And who teaches that? We hit the base case. We must return back to the ground. The confusion is what to fall in love with, scores or money. Is reading a skill? For many people, it's a hobby. Reading 10 pages before going to bed. Isn't that sweet? I guess so. But really, is reading a skill or a hobby? If it's a hobby, it's not a skill. If it's not a hobby, then it must be a skill. Half of the problems I have faced in designing software, including the problems I have seen other people suffer through from a distance, are caused by the lack of reading documentation. If I ask if reading is overrated or underrated as a skill, what would your response be? Marketing, another skill that's closely related to people who find themselves in frequent proximity to a market, like salesmen. But is salesmanship a job or a skill? Again, if it's a job, it's not a skill. If it's not a job, it must be a skill. Aren't we all salesmen? We learn skills and someday we become proficient in applying those skills, helping somebody else building their business. We don't have to build our own business, because is building a business a skill or a need? Is college education really worth it then? But wait a minute, what is your definition of education? Is it just limited to the subject study, or is it something way bigger than that? Are the metrics of how good a college is based on its teaching system, or are we missing out on some bigger details? So many questions for another video. Thanks for watching.